I do not know where I'm going, but I do know that I have work to do. So I'm just going to look for a cafe and I'm going to sit there and do some work. I have packed my bag. It's a beautiful blue sky day. I'm just going to sit down and do the things that I need to do, hopefully. Anyway, how is everybody? How are you all? I'd love to know. um, I also have finished the book club book and I've had my book club and I'm going to write the newsletter. So I think that's what I'm doing today. Okay, let's go.
You got me covered in a five-bucket overdose. Sipping on this sweet, rolling out by the coast. Yeah, it feels good. Let the morning slip away. 'Cause it feels good. Got the sunshine smiling on my face. I throw myself onto the bed just to get away, get away. Sick of thumbing through my phone, yeah, trying to find escape.
So it ended up being a very lovely morning, and I ended up getting a new journal and sitting down to write, and it was a lot easier than I expected. And I think that is just because I have a lot of things to say, because I have a lot of things that I haven't processed. And yeah, it was less intimidating, it was just easy to rant in my sweet little diary. One thing that I wrote about was, I think what stops me from journaling consistently, apart from just like my difficulty with doing anything consistently, is this idea that the writing has to be good. And I know that nobody will write it. So it's just me realizing that maybe I'm not a good writer through my journaling, and that is just a lot of pressure and it's not what it's about. But again, that's like the perfectionist in me. And yeah, so I wrote about that, and I think by writing about that and acknowledging it in the first page, I hope that that means that I can move forward and just write without having to make it sound good or sound like I am trying to write a novel. And anyway, so that felt quite good. And now I'm back home. I've changed my outfit. It is very warm now. And I have a bit of work to do. I have a bit of uni work to do as well. But I wanted to mention the sponsor of today's video. You have heard me talk about them many times before. I wear their jewelry religiously, and it's what I've been wearing for years now. And I think I am wearing the first necklace I got from Ana Luisa back in 2019 when I first moved to Sydney. So it now has a lot of sentimental value and it looks brand new. It really does. And it's my favorite. It's my go-to. And a lot of their pieces are, in my opinion, like classic, timeless pieces that I just gravitate towards day in and day out. And I think the thing that I love most about Ana Luisa is that their pieces are long lasting, they are tarnish resistant, they have lovely designs, and they're quite accessible. Their designs start at $39, which is pretty good for jewelry. And yeah, I've just been wearing them for many years now. If you've seen me wear jewelry in one of my videos, 98% chance it's Ana Luisa. All their pieces kind of work really nicely together, so you can layer and you can mix and match really easily. And it's a part of my day that I really enjoy, picking out jewelry. It just feels really nice. I think it completes an outfit. And I got some lovely new pieces. You know I love my gold, so I got my golden hoops. And because I've been wearing this golden necklace for so long, I decided to get a silver necklace. So it's the same one, but it's in silver. So I've been wearing that as well. So if you like to get some of these pieces, we can be matchy, or you can get something totally different. We don't have to be matching. They have so many different pieces to choose from. You can get up to 25% off if you use the link in my description box below. So thank you, Anna Luisa, for sponsoring this video. And now I'm going to do some work, and then I'm going to get changed, and I'm going to go for a long run, and I'm going to go and pick up my friend's dog who I'm obsessed with. His name is Harry. You've seen him before, and you shall see him again. He makes my long runs a lot easier, and people are friendlier, and everybody smiles at me because he's such a sweet dog. So I suggest that if you have some training runs, some long runs, grab a friend's dog. People just smile at you when you have a dog with you. It's quite nice, and I love pretending that maybe it's just me. Okay, let's go.
Called on a Monday, waiting for a sign, just sitting in my barrel. I get lost in the tide.
I spend a lot of time on my own, and I really enjoy it, but I don't think I was aware of how much time I spend on my own until I moved into a house and lived with a lot more people. And I think a lot of them are quite fascinated by my weekend plans and how I very often tend to take a whole day for myself to just peruse and meander, and I don't invite anybody on purpose. I really enjoy taking a book with me and picking a place that I'm just going to walk around and venture and maybe find a new cafe or not. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to spend any money, but I just want to walk around and be out in the world, especially with Sydney. Sydney is such a beautiful city, and I'm always mesmerized by what a gorgeous place I live in. So it's good to be reminded of that constantly because of how much rent I pay and how much financial stress we're all under. I'm like, we need to take advantage of the free amenities of the city. Anyway, ever since I was a kid, I have loved spending time on my own, so it's never been an effort to do that. I've never been outside of my comfort zone, going out for dinner on my own or going to the cinema on my own. Yeah, and ever since I was a kid, I was the kid that would call my mom after, a day with my friends, and I was like, I'm ready to go, whilst all the other kids were like, we want to stay another night. I'm like, take me to my room. Close the door. And I love spending time with my friends, and I love spending time with my partner, obviously. I can't live a life alone. That would not be enjoyable whatsoever. But I have realized that when I spend time with other people, I'm either constantly checking in with them or I'm doing so in my head. I want everybody to be having a great time, and I feel often that I'm in charge of their experience, which is not the case. Everybody is in charge of their own experience, obviously to a certain extent. Anyway, that's what I ended up doing, obviously. I went to Kirribilli. I just walked around, read my book. It was such a beautiful day. I love going to these gorgeous places in Sydney, Kirribilli being one of them. Yeah, and it was very sweet. I also find that I do a lot of my thinking in movement. When I go for walks and when I'm just roaming around, that's when I tend to go through things that have been bothering me a little bit and try and answer some of the questions that have been on my mind. And maybe that is something that will also happen now that I've started journaling. Maybe it'll happen on paper as well. But yeah, it's always felt easier for me to process things when I'm moving. So in those instances, I just put my headphones on. I don't even play any music. I just walk around, and it feels good. Anyway, that is all I have to report for now. That's what I did. I guess what I wanted to say is mostly because I know a lot of people find it difficult to spend time on their own, and they do want to spend more time on their own. And I would just say that the easiest thing that I think sitting at a cafe, you take your journal, you take your book, you order yourself a little drink, and I think that that is a good intro to spending some time on your own. You can write, you can read. A lot of people are doing that in cafes. So I think that it's a little bit less nerve-wracking to do that in an environment like that. Maybe the last thing is that it's a skill. It's a skill that one can develop. If one does it consistently, it becomes easier and easier to spend more time on your own. And yeah, it's just about doing it maybe every once in a while, once a week. I found that something that really helped me kind of make my alone time feel more intentional rather than just me being in my room not wanting to talk to people was doing the artist way and treating it as an artist date. So a lot of the times, at least, I'm telling you, at least once a week, I make an intentional effort to take myself out, whether that is going somewhere or just going for a walk or getting myself a treat. I just try and treat myself like I would a friend that I really love, because I deserve that alone time. That alone time that feels, that there was a little bit more care involved in it. And I think when you treat it that way, it feels better as well. And it lends itself to be more, like you're alone, but you don't feel lonely. Because that's a huge difference as well. I spend a lot of time on my own. I don't feel lonely in those times. Treat it as a date. Take yourself out on a date. Put it on the calendar. It is so good for so many things, but also it was so good for my creativity and my inspiration and my overall, joy for life, is to get myself out in the world and like take myself out to a gallery and buy myself a slice of cake and, make a little picnic for myself and not just always have to wait for someone to come along with me. Also going on hikes on my own. Obviously that is, maybe you need to think a little bit more about safety in those cases. But again, it's all about being intentional and planning something that is something that you would do for someone else. So yeah. Okay, that is really all now.